Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Living your best life here in the Philippines. Right now I am at Bohol and wanted to do a topic that ties into something I've seen in one of the expat groups. But I was talking to my girlfriend and she said one of her friends is dating a foreigner, and she asked her, I guess she likes this guy, and she asked her, she said, how do I show him how that I'm serious? Because he said a lot of Filipinas are, scammers, and that's what he's seen online and YouTube, etc., etc. So her advice was solid. She said, well, if you're actually into him for real, he's going to know it, because you're not going to be asking him for money and you're not going to be a scammer. So that is the number one reason that you actually appear serious. And that's my advice to you guys. I've been here, actually, I just did my year review. I've been here over a year now. So yeah, I know from talking to literally probably 100 different expats at this time, the scammer thing here is out of control. And it's kind of funny, and I don't mean to laugh at these guys, but I mentioned the other week I was going to do a story of the week type of thing, because I'm not exaggerating when I tell you guys on these videos that I hear these stories every single week. And just last week, a guy told me he's new here. He gave his, air quotes, girlfriend how much, I'm trying to remember how much it was, to pay for her college, supposedly. And he said after I did that, it was a lot too. It was way more than it should have been. So she was ripping him off there, which is real common. They use the college scam and then they lie about how much the college actually costs. So I want to say he gave her, it was 20,000 pesos, I think. And he said now she doesn't return my messages. And he's like, is that normal? And I'm like, dude, I don't mean to laugh at you, but yeah, it's normal here. And yeah, like I said on other videos, there's some good ones. And, Filipinos always jump in the comments. Yeah, we're not all like, yeah, we know you're not all like that. But when 60-70% of the girls are pulling these scams and dumb foreigners are stupid enough to fall for it, it starts to become the norm. And I said that in another video, are simps ruining the Philippines? And that's what I meant by that. When guys are so dumb and so blinded by some pretty girl flirting with them and paying them attention and maybe wants to be their girlfriend, they fall all over themselves because they're just not used to that. And they fall right in the trap. And over and over and over again, you can make thousands of videos. You can post it on every expat group online, but guys will still do it. Somehow, I guess they think they're different, right? Like I said, Vegas wasn't built on winners, right? So yeah, somehow everybody thinks they're going to be the winner. So yeah, that's how you know one surefire way if your girl is actually into you. She's not going to ask you for 1 peso. That's the way I've weeded them out. My girlfriend has literally never asked me for a single peso. And guys that I know that are in long-term relationships or are married and are really happy, they say the same thing. So the other way is early in the dating stage. And I seen this on an expat group. So I thought it was worth talking about because it was a Philippines expat group. And he said he was going to go on this date with this girl and BGC. And he asked her what she felt like eating. I guess they were going to go to dinner. And she recommends Wolfgangs. I guess there's a Wolfgang over in Manila somewhere. I've never been there. But if you don't know anything about Wolfgang, it's ridiculously expensive. I'm sure it's nice, but ridiculously expensive. So rightfully so, the guy was a little agitated by this because it's their first date, mind you. And he says, I really wasn't thinking of Wolfgangs. And you know, do you have anything else in mind? And she said, oh, I go there all the time. It's great. You're going to love it. And trying to talk the guy into it. So long story short, he basically shuts it down and he says, nah, no thanks type of deal, right? Like I kind of just wanted to get a drink or coffee or something. So she gets an attitude with the guy, kind of like a Western woman would. Guys, I hate to give dating advice to grown-ass men, but obviously you do, because he asked on this expat group, like, what do you guys think about that? Do you think I handled it right? 90% of the guys that responded said what I'm about to tell you guys, that he handled it 100% correctly because she was just looking to milk him for money. And I'll tell you why I feel that way in a second. The other 10% were the dumb simps commenting, oh, if you don't have money to take a girl on a nice dinner, maybe you shouldn't be dating, and why don't you just tell everybody you're poor? No, it has nothing to do with being poor. It has nothing to do with being able to afford Wolfgangs. I could take a girl to Wolfgang every single week. It's irrelevant to me. But if you've been single for any amount of time, and I guess a lot of guys haven't, right? A lot of guys maybe were married for forever in the West and maybe didn't date that much, whatever. I've been single a lot on and off in my life in America. And I learned real early on in my single days, you don't take a girl to a nice restaurant on the first date. Why? Because you might not like each other. Let's be honest. She might not like you. You might not like her. She might be weird. She might not look anything like her pictures. She might have been catfishing you. Her pictures could be 10 years old. She could be 50 kilos heavier than her pictures were. You could have lied. Your pictures could be 10 years old. Or you could be 100 pounds heavier than what you claimed you were, right? You sent her pictures of back when you had a 6-pack of abs and now you got a 6-pack of beer on top of it, right? And you're going to meet and you're just not going to hit it off. The sparks aren't going to fly. And then you're stuck with an awkward dinner. And I say this because I've had it happen 2 different times when I was young and dumb and didn't know any better. And I thought that's what you do, right? When you're single, well, you go to dinner, right? That's what people do, right? So I'll tell you a funny story. I did that one time. Halfway through the appetizer, the girl's down 2 martinis, $12 a piece, martinis at a nice restaurant. And then she tried to order a bottle of wine first, which I don't really drink. So I said, unless you're going to drink a bottle of wine yourself, I'm not really sure why we'd need a bottle of wine. And then she was a little agitated by that, proceeds to order multiple martinis, half drunk, halfway through the appetizer, starts crying her eyes out about her ex-husband. Mind you, we already ordered our dinners. So then you're stuck either saying, can I just get the bill because I just want to go and this is awkward and this sucks, just being honest. Or you sit through an awkward ass dinner listening to some girl cry about her ex-husband. So that's why I say, guys, don't be stupid and don't take a girl to Wolfgangs on the first date. And my advice to this guy was, she's doing it for a couple reasons. She's testing the waters to see if you're dumb enough to take her there. And then she's also testing the waters to see, if you're going to take her there, you're willing to drop probably $100 US, probably 5,000 to 6,000 pesos or more on a dinner. That means you probably have some money that you don't care about spending, and then you open up the barn door for the scams to start happening, or for her to just kind of take advantage of. Even if she's not going to scam you out of money, she just sees you as an easy sugar daddy, right? So short, sweet, to the point, but guys, use your heads and stop falling for this nonsense. You really, 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 really need to have your radar up here. You really do. You just have to weed out the bad ones. And like I said, there's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of good ones. You see in the comments too, on either some of my videos or some other videos, or even expat groups, you see these comments of, well, it's pay to play in the Philippines. Yes and no. That is true. There's a lot of these, unfortunately, scammers or girls looking to take advantage of foreigners. But there's also a lot of great ones here. You just have to weed them out. You really do. And you'll find one You just don't fall for the trap of, well, that's just the way it is here, because it's not. It's not just the way it is here. It's not like some other places. There's a lot of traditional girls here that want to get married, that want to have a long-term relationship, that want, you know, normal life. They're not looking to milk money out of foreigners. So again, not bashing the Filipinas, because I've been very happy here, but just something you have to be aware of and kind of weed them out. So like anywhere, right? You got the same exact girls in the West. It's not unique to the Philippines, but you know, a lot of you guys maybe are coming out of long-term marriages, just got divorced, or like I said, maybe been single for a long time and never really dated all that much. So, Nate. All right, guys, just walking on the beach at the sunset. Beautiful sunset tonight. You can see that. Pretty night. Perfect night. Dead calm on the water too. So, all right, guys, hope that helps. Like and subscribe, and see you guys.